Hello everyone, welcome back to online lecture series on engineering thermodynamics. We are continuing our extra lecture series for numericals of this subject, and today we are going to discuss about numericals of vapor power cycle. So let's begin. Here the questions of vapor power cycle will be slightly lengthy. So this is our first question. Determine the work required to compress the steam isentropically from 1 bar to 2 bar. So our objective is to calculate W for going from P1 equal to 1 bar to P2 equal to 10 bar. That is our objective. Now there are two cases that we need to consider. Assume that the initial state of the steam exists at saturated liquid. That is, in this case, saturated liquid line is this on the left hand side. So our first case is having the initial state at point 1 on left hand side of this curve, and in second case as saturated vapor. So this is the right hand side portion where the initial state is this point. So here if we need to if I need to draw it over here, so we will have our first numerical as here point 1, which is at saturated liquid state, and we are going up to point number 2, and here the same point is there, that is point 1, and we are going like this, and the same is clearly visible over here also in this figure. So we need to go here. So neglect any kind of changes in kinetic and potential energies. What is the conclusion on this example? So first we will focus on this part where we are compressing the liquid here from point 1 to point 2. Actually we cannot compress it, but we can pump it. So first we will be focusing only on this portion, that is this region, okay, over here. So the steam is saturated liquid initially, that is at point 1. So based on the pressure which is given to us, that is 1 bar, pressure is given 1 bar, so we can calculate the specific volume, which is Vf1 bar is equal to this value, that is 0.001043 meter cube per kg. Now you might be thinking that from where this value is taken. So this value will be taken from steam table. Okay, so you can obtain these values from steam table, and here W reversible is equal to integration V dP. So V1 is constant because here we cannot change the volume because liquid is incompressible. So we can only take the difference of pressures, that is V1 into P1 minus P2. So V1 is available to us from the steam tables, and here 1 minus 10, that is the pressure difference. And why this 10 raised to 2 is coming? Because we are given pressure in bar, P is given in bar. So here if we see W reversible is equal to V into delta P. So this is given in meter cube per kg and this is given in bar. So what if you recall, 1 bar is equal to 10 raised to 5 Newton per meter square. So what we have done here, that we have done that meter cube per kg unit is as it is. We have only taken 10 raised to 2 outside and this 10 raised to 3 Newton per meter square. This will be utilized to have it in kilo. That is, if you see, the answer is in kilojoule per kg. So we are only having multiplication of 10 raised to 2. So this is the way we can obtain the value of W reversible for saturated liquid pumping. Now we will focus on the second part, which is at the beginning it is at the saturation vapor. So here steam is saturated vapor initially and remains vapor during the entire compression process. That is visible from this chart, that we are going from 1 to 2, so the entire compression work is done in superheated region. So here the specific volume changes considerably, so the previous relation cannot be useful. So here we are using TdS is equal to dH minus VdP. The entropy is 0 because it is isentropic process, so ds will be 0. So finally we are getting VdP as equal to dH. So W reversible will be only dH integration, that is the enthalpy difference will be our reversible compression work. Now H1 value will be obtained from the steam table as well as S1 will be obtained, and we can also obtain the value of H2 from interpolation. Now what is the meaning of this? Here this value is available to us, so H1 and S1 is available, and S1 will be equal to S2. Based on this, we can say that we are now aware of S2 and we are aware of P2. So in steam table with these values we can do interpolation and we can obtain the value of W reversible with the help of the value of H2. So once we get H2 from interpolation, we can get W reversible. Now if you compare both these values, previously it was minus 0.9387 and now it is minus 520 kilojoule per kg. So the conclusion is that the work to pump, work required for pumping is very less compared to work required for compression of superheated steam. That is the conclusion here. Now this is our next question. In a single heater regenerative cycle, so this is the problem of regeneration. The steam enters the turbine at 30 bar and 400 degrees Celsius. So here if you see, the steam enters the turbine at 30 bar and 400 degrees Celsius, that is visible over here. That is the entry to the turbine of 1 kg of steam. And the exhaust pressure is 10 bar. That is, the exhaust pressure at the exit of turbine is 0.1 bar. Now the feed water heater is direct contact type, which operates at 5 bar. So what is happening here, that we are extracting the steam at 5 bar over here. So the expansion is happening in 3 stages. First it was at entry, it was at 30 bar. Then we have extraction point is at 5 bar, and after that it is 1 bar. So if you recall our regeneration theory, then in this way the expansion is happening. Now what we need to calculate? We need to calculate the efficiency and steam rate of the cycle. So first we will calculate this and later on we will discuss the other parts. So let's first focus on this figure, that here we are taking 5K, we are taking the steam at 5 bar and let us assume it to be mkg, that we are not aware of, and here it will be, the remaining will be 1 minus mkg, that will go into condenser, and here the same m minus 1 kg condensate is being pumped into this heater. So this m minus 1 kg is at at 5 bar and it is being mixed with this mkg. So at the exit we will get 1 kg which is being pumped back into the boiler. And at the bottom here the same TS diagrams are provided, TS diagram and HS diagram. So here the initial condition was 30 bar 400 degrees Celsius, 1 kg is going at the halfway, that is 5 bar. At 5 bar we are extracting the steam, that is of m kg, and 1 minus m kg is going remaining into turbine. After expansion it is going into condenser. Then this is already known to you people, so we will not further discuss on this. First of all, we can get the value of H1 and S1 from the steam tables, and if you see here, the value of entropy at 0.1, 0.2 and 0.3 will be same, that is over here. So S1 is equal to H2 is equal to S3. Now SG, that is SG is 5 bar, SG at 5 bar is 6.8213. So the value of entropy at saturated vapor is this. So our value is slightly higher than that. Our entropy value is slightly higher than that. So it is assured that 0.2 will be in superheated region. So here S2 is greater than SG. So the state 2 must lie in the superheated region. And from the table of superheated steam, T2 value is 172 degrees Celsius and H2 value is also given. So which formula we have applied here? That S3 value from the steam tables is equal to 6.9212, that is this value which we have directly taken here, S3, because as I was telling you that S1 is equal to S2 is equal to S3. So we have utilized this, and here we can say that SF 0.1 bar in plus X3 SFG 0.1 bar. So see, this value, these two values can be obtained from the steam tables, and this value is available, so we can obtain the value of X3 which is obtained over here, and H3 can also be obtained. H3 is equal to HF plus X3 HFG. So we have obtained the value of X3 and H3. Since the pump work is neglected, these two values are written. Now from where this is written? Here pump work is neglected, so H4 is considered is equal to H5. So H4 is taken as approximately equal to H5 and H7 is approximately taken equal to H6. Now these two values, H4 is obtained from steam table as well as H6 is obtained from steam table. So let me write down this, let me show this, that which values are available from steam table. That is H6 is available because the value of enthalpy of saturated liquid at 5 bar will be available, and H4 will be available to you, that is the value of enthalpy of saturated liquid at 0.1 bar. So based on this we have obtained many values from the steam table. And from the energy balance of the heater we can write down this formula. That is, if you see here, that M into H5 minus H6, that is the energy content which is coming over here, M into H5, M into H2, sorry, here it is 2 not 5, M into H2 minus H6 is equal to 1 minus M into H6 minus H5, that is H6 minus H5. So here, by putting all those values here, we can obtain the value of mass. So once we obtain the value of mass, we can obtain the WT. Now WT will be in two ways. This will be our first work and this will be our second work output. So WT will be equal to, if you see, the first portion will be with 1 kg, it will be H1 minus H2, that is the first portion that was there, plus 1 minus M which is going further, that is H3 minus H2. And finally we are getting the value of WT. Now Q1 is H1 minus H6. H1 minus H6. Actually it was H1 minus H7, but it is equal to H here. Due to this relation, it is H1 minus H6. That is the value of Q. So once we obtain Q, we can obtain eta cycle as well as we can obtain the steam rate. Now here, to calculate the mean temperature of heat addition, it will be between 1 to 7. So enthalpy to entropy ratio, that is this, and without regeneration it will be 0.1 to 0.4. That is, if we were not knowing the regeneration, then the mean temperature of heat addition will be between 0.1 to 0.4. So here this is without regeneration, and if you see with regeneration the temperature was 238.8 and now it is 211.4. so increase in Tm1 due to regeneration is 27.4, and the value of WT work output, that is without regeneration, will be H1 minus H3, and the same formula is applied. The steam rate and increase in steam rate is obtained, and cycle efficiency without regeneration will be this, that is work output WT, that is this, divided by 1 minus divided by the heat addition, that is H1 minus H4. So previously the efficiency was 35.36 and before regeneration it was 34.18. So increase in cycle efficiency due to regeneration is 1.18. Even though it look very insignificant as 1%, but this can make huge differences in terms of cost and other aspects. So this is the end of today's extra lecture on numericals of heat, numericals on vapor power cycles. Thank you for watching this video.